New Mexico at BYU, Wednesday college basketball. Marco, who do you like and why?
Well, RJ, I like BYU in this game.
Whoa, I'm surprised. I was ready to say, let's make this a 90-second video. BYU's overrated. New Mexico had a loss that somehow didn't count, and you love the value. But you're surprising me. I'm all ears.
Okay. Normally, after a big win, I would be looking to fade a team, which the first time BYU did play San Diego State when they beat them, the very next game, we did it on video. I gave out New Mexico to upset BYU, and that's the key to this play. BYU is not going to be flat after the big win on Saturday because they're not going to let history repeat itself. They went after the San Diego State game, which the scheduling setup was totally different. They played San Diego State at home the first meeting and then went on the road to play New Mexico. On the road from a Wednesday to a Saturday. We've talked several times about how home teams on Saturdays, the crowd's more rambunctious and everything. Now we've got a flip side. BYU, big win on Saturday on the road, bringing the momentum home. They're playing with revenge. You can bet the coaching staff will tell these kids all week, remember what happened last time when you took New Mexico for granted? They're going to show up with their A game, and I look for a huge win by BYU. They are.
So they didn't play since Saturday. They haven't played. So a week to get over the
3 days to get over it. 4 days. They're playing on Wednesday.
Okay, wow. I don't know what I'm thinking about next Saturday already. All right.
Probably sitting at the Bellagio playing cards.
Maybe. Wow. All right. So then let's pose the question. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you just had your biggest win in many a year. There's no hangover.
If this wasn't the exact same setup of playing New Mexico right after it, I could buy into that. But they're not going to go down that road.
My second question is, the talk has now turned to BYU has a #1 seed if they win out, and maybe even if they don't, if they lose in the finals of the conference tournament or whatever, perhaps. Is there too much of a premium on this? What was your projected bookie line?
I thought it would come out 11.5. It came out at 12, a half a point higher. So I'm okay with that. New Mexico, the other thing with this game and the difference between the first meeting, New Mexico's playing back-to-back road games. They played on Saturday and won, and now have to play again on the road on Wednesday. So it's a hard scheduling spot to win back-to-back road games, playing like that Saturday to Wednesday. And you're always more up for a Saturday game, but definitely the opponent, they're going to be up for BYU, that's for sure.
So one of the things that we talk about a lot, or not a lot, but enough, is the difference between the old school wise guys and the new school wise guys. And to me, one of the main differences is that the old school guys are always taking the double digits. They're always fading the team that just had their biggest win of the year. Now, what I respect about the new school is they find maybe 20% of the classic old school wise guy spots, and they say, no, this one, it's not good enough. Yeah, those factors are still there, but there's other factors. But usually that takes a new school wise guy from playing the dog to neutral to passing the game. Now, you've actually gone all the way from passing the game, or from playing the dog, which is the typical play here, all the way past passing, all the way towards thinking there's 2.5 points of value. So you're saying this line should be 14.5.
I do. I mean, I have BYU, my personal number, handicap in the game. I have them winning by 16 in this game.
All right, so give us your official projection.
I've got BYU, lay the points. I've got them winning 86-70, and I think this is a team, they are good. They're very good defensively, and they had a lapse in that first game. If you look like extreme results, that was the highest game that they had for defensive percentage given up. They gave up 50% from the field in that game. And it's one of those things that, again, we've talked numerous times about defense and intensity. I think after such a big win, they just didn't have that intensity in the last time. They'll have it this time.
So this is a classic case. It's funny. One time I was listening. This is before Tom Dwan became really well known, but he was with the Poker Nerds Online, as they say. He was a hero, and he was on a podcast, and they asked him probably 20 minutes of questions about strategy. What do you do here? What do you do here? And literally, it was almost like a comedy skit. Every answer was it depends. And it was like they would try to get more information. He goes, well, in this spot you could do this, but you also could do it. And it was completely, a lot of the comments afterward, he's not giving anything away. But I think this is analogous. Let's think about this. Is typically if a team has a big win, you fade them. You're saying, well, maybe, but it depends, and here's a spot where you don't. And then typically you would say, or maybe you wouldn't say this, but there'd be two valid sides of this. Wow, New Mexico fundamentally has already proven that they can play with BYU. Now you're getting double digits. So that would be a valid, so you could see a write-up in the forum saying that exact same thing. And you're saying because of that, I think it's more telling that BYU is going to be motivated and focused than it is the fundamental issues that we learned from the first win with New Mexico. But that difference remember, the difference between 50 and 55% is 1 in 20 games. You got to be on the right side instead of the wrong side once every 20 times, and you can live in a mansion from batting. Or if you are not right 1 in 20 extra times, you go broke from the juice. So I find it very interesting, and again, I think people try to, eventually they watch you and listen for long enough, and they think there's a mechanical way to do this. And there is maybe 70% of the time, but it's that 30 that you throw them the Marco curveball.
It's sometimes there's an intangible that, you want to throw a poker player out there, Doyle Brunson, that there's feel. It's not always math, it's feel.
Lucky for you, because let's be honest, you're not strong with math. But hey, that's awesome. Now, let me ask you about curveballs. Have you ever ordered like an Italian hoagie? Now follow me here, and we're really ready for it, and then you went and took a bite, and somehow you found out it was all vegetables and no meat, and you're like even as you were, then you look inside, and then you have this scowl on your face, and you start
Anybody that served me for a long time, if it's a normal restaurant that I've been to many times, they wouldn't even try that. Okay, they would be sleeping with the fishes. Okay,
you don't eat fish.
Oh, I do. No, I do eat fish. No, I like fish actually.
Oh, no. Let's take a minute. We got a minute, right?
Oh.
So, because I always make fun of you for not liking vegetables. And then you actually like one time, now tell me if I'm right or wrong here, one time you actually said, oh no, I like chocolate dipped broccoli.
No.
Oh, come on.
I've never heard of
one of the keys of pregame.tv is us telling the truth. Look into the main camera and say, I have never said I like chocolate dipped broccoli.
No, I like chocolate dipped strawberries. I like, chocolate dipped fruit.
Or the only time you eat honeydew melon is with prosciutto.
Well,
is that true?
I do. I eat cantaloupe and honeydew with prosciutto. That's a delicacy. That's good stuff.
And the only time you eat strawberries is strawberry pie.
No.
All right, guys, you can continue the conversation, and you can talk. And you can talk about Marco's dietary approaches or this game. And we're going to be back. We got a Sunday game next, right?
We've a Sunday. Do you know where we're at?
God.
You're so worried about my eating habits. You don't know what day it is.
I just don't know why I'm thinking it's the weekend.
Today,
I guess
we're taping on Tuesday. We're
Tuesday.
doing Wednesdays, and then the next game's going to be a Thursday game.
It's Thursday.
Thursday.
So
I'll lead you to the promised
land. It's like in the golf on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll be back with Thursday.
See what I got to work with.
Dawson, cut his mic. Thursday action.